It's been a while since I've done one of these, hasn't it? Been hard to figure out how to format this series, and because of that, I've not been able to talk about many of the characters I've wanted to. Hopefully I figured out how to format it properly, because recently I've been watching a lot of The Simpsons. Not for a video or anything, my friend Neon and I have been watching through episodes on and off the last few months, and because of that, I've recently started going back through most of the series on my time off. In between editing several episodes of my D&D podcast, link in the description below, and the last several episodes of the review series. And because of this, when at the time of writing the most recent season of The Simpsons released the episode Bartless, I was inspired to make this video, because the episode didn't sit right with me.
I mean, we love Bart, don't we?
Oh, so much.
You see, the episode Bartless is supposed to be an exploration of Bart's character, a great idea, especially to re-establish Bart's role in the series after 34 seasons. And with The Simpsons going through a renaissance as of the last few seasons, this is a great way to re-establish the kind of kid the writers want Bart to be alongside, showing what he brings to the family. However, how we get from point A to point B feels wrong.
But what if we don't like him?
You see, the episode begins with Bart reading to what I presume is a kindergartner, one who is probably afraid of Bart due to his reputation with the past teachers, and probably Riley's older sister, who may or may not exist, and may or may not have babysat Bart before.
Simpson. Come back for more, eh?
Regardless, he manages to get her to come out of her hiding spot by making reading fun and defacing school property, which encourages the rest of the children to do the same, getting them to interact with books in their own way. After getting caught, the show cuts to Marge and Homer chewing him out, going way over the top, calling him the Destroyer. And of course, to pile in on this, Lisa also runs in with a glass of hot dog water that Bart put in the ice maker. And this is where the episode starts to lose me.
Bart put hot dog water in the ice maker. He's the Destroyer!
First off, Homer is far more likely to add hot dog water to an ice maker so that he can have hot dog ice than Bart is just to pull a prank on Lisa.
Okay, got through the first one. Next one's a little harder. Just gonna focus.
Why would you do that?
It's just something more in line with Homer than anyone else. Second, while I can't suspend disbelief that Lisa would call Bart the same name Homer did, Homer was yelling with the door open after all. What I can't really believe is Marge's reaction. She's been angry before, yelled, screamed at, and grounded Bart. However, normally Marge is a mediator in the family, a calm, rational voice when needed, though she can and has broken from that role a number of times.
I'm sure he'll offer us a fair reward. And then we'll make him double it. Well, why can't I be greedy once in a while?
On top of that, when Bart does enact this response from Marge, usually it has to be pretty bad, like destroying Lisa's centerpiece and making her cry.
Bitchin'.
You don't even care! You don't even care!
I hope you're happy, Bart. You ruined Thanksgiving.
Or say when Bart literally crippled Homer by not cleaning up his stuff.
The boy. Bring me the boy.
Or that one time Bart stole a bulldozer and destroyed private property.
Alright, it was me.
Why, you little...
I bet most of you didn't know that Marge has tried to strangle Bart before. Now, Bart has gone too far a few times, making Marge, for the most part, give up on Bart. Most famously, Marge Be Not Proud, where he was caught shoplifting and she realizes that Bart isn't the sweet little kid she thought he was, leading to one of, if not the strongest moments between them.
I can't believe you did this.
I wanted to surprise you for Christmas.
This is the best present a mother could get.
The Simpsons would repeat this dynamic a few times. The other one that springs to mind is season 10's Bart the Mother, where after deliberately disobeying Marge and sneaking out to go to Nelson's after he got a new BB gun, Bart accidentally kills a bird, and Marge finds out immediately and just gives up on him. The point being, drawing in a book isn't something that would elicit this response from Marge. Homer, yes, but I sincerely doubt that Marge would act this way about a book, when she barely reacted when Bart defaced the school, insulting his principal in the process. Marge even went to bat for Bart after he blew up a toilet with a cherry bomb.
if you admit you love Bart.
Okay, I love Bart.
And to really get to why Bartless feels so weird at the start, we need to establish what Bart has done in recent times. The last thing Bart did that could really be seen as criminal is when he started exploiting a glitch in a video game to make money, which he split with his school after getting found out, but he didn't deny the shady practice. And on technicality, he did nothing illegal as no one was actually robbed. Bart just exploited the game and other app mechanics to make money, something that isn't seen as immoral when consumers do it today. And when Skinner tried to destroy another school for doing the exact same thing, it is Bart that stops him. And stepbrother from the same planet, when Abe Simpson is dating and living with his new girlfriend, Bart and Lisa use his room at the retirement home to throw parties. However, when things go too far, they both pull the plug. Again, Bart is charging a cover charge of $25, but he's never busted for this. Poorhouse Rock is an episode about Bart wanting to take after Homer, only to realize that capitalism is killing the middle class. Marge Ramini has Marge and Bart pull pranks on others, and Marge eventually puts a stop to it because she recognizes that it is wrong. Though you can't fault Bart in this episode as much as others, because he's being encouraged by the only person he respects that usually tries to guide him to behave.
We went too far.
You mean you went too far? We've never been closer!
In My Octopus and a Teacher, Bart starts acting out because he has a crush on his new teacher and isn't emotionally mature enough to handle those feelings. In Bart the Cool Kid, Bart befriends a rich kid. The point being, the last time Bart really did something that might elicit an overreaction from Marge was in Bart vs. Itchy and Scratchy, where he joined a feminist cult, and started throwing hot pink slime and paint everywhere. Even then, he was more along for the ride than the leader in that episode. Now, the point of this overreaction from Marge, Homer, and Lisa is set up how everyone else sees the good and what Bart did drawing in a book, while Homer and Marge could only see the destruction of property.
This is the first book he hasn't tried to kiss or wear as a hat. May I hug the people who created Bart?
This is where the episode story truly loses me because of a fairly important speech from Homer Defined.
Grace under pressure is no...
Not that one.
He's got a spark. It's not a bad thing. Of course, it makes him do bad things.
Yeah, that's the one. One of Marge's defining traits is that she can always see the best in others, whether that be Homer or Bart or even Nelson.
Marge, you find the inner beauty of your subject and bring it out for all to see.
Well, thank you, Professor Lombardo.
So Bartless had this monumental task of stripping away one of Marge's key traits while simultaneously having Bart do something bad that would warrant this behavior, while also being something light enough to have everyone else that actually understand his intentions. It's not an easy task. Regardless, this story wants to explore what Bart brings to his family and what would be lost without him. But before we get there, we need to discuss who Bart really is.
I'm Bart Simpson. Who the hell are you?
So, who is Bart Simpson? All the way back in 1987, when the Simpsons were a little more than Tracy Ullman shorts, Bart was a little more than a generic kid. He was bratty at times and fairly irresponsible. They were only 1-minute shorts that were wraparounds to and from commercials, though we did see some of his core traits already being defined.
I'm Bart Simpson. Who the hell are you?
Of course, with the popularity of the shorts, The Simpsons spun off into the much more well-known show that we all know today. And when they did so, they were forced to give these characters, well, characters.
Quidgibo. A big, dumb, balding North American ape.
In Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire, the episode that would retroactively become the first of the series, Bart would show off his more defined traits. Already he's a troublemaker, purposefully singing the wrong version of Jingle Bells and getting pulled from the 4th grade choir. We were also introduced to the fact that he rarely thinks anything through as he tries and to his credit successfully gets a tattoo, at least until Marge catches him.
Ow! Quit it.
In Bart the Genius, we see his quick thinking abilities, alongside his art skills and his struggles in school, as he has a difficulty focusing as he's not the best student either. Something that is the focus of a handful of episodes early on.
Hey, why are we dancing around the obvious? I know it, you know it, I am dumb, okay? Dumb as a post. Think I'm happy about it?
Though a troublemaker isn't everything Bart is early on. In Bart the General, we see that Bart is willing to stick up for his sister when she's being bullied.
That's my sister, man. So what? So give her back those cupcakes before I knock your block off.
It's your classic sibling dynamic where the older sibling will pick on the younger sibling, but if anyone else dares to touch them, Bart will do everything in his power to protect Lisa. He doesn't always have this trait, but it is one that pops up from time to time, even to this day.
P.S. The cadets are planning to throw their meatballs at you.
Bart the General is also where we start to see this natural-born leadership quality blossom. Jumping forward, we have the Telltale Head where Bart is easily influenced by 3 bullies, and in an attempt to be cool, he saws off the head of the statue of the town founder, Jebediah Springfield. Now, something that often gets forgotten about with Bart is that he often shows remorse for his actions. Sometimes the A plot is based around him learning empathy, or he might have it right off the back, like here, where he immediately realizes that he screwed up, but still wants to be cool.
What have I done?
You also have Bart vs. Thanksgiving, where the entire episode is centered around Bart realizing that he hurt Lisa's feelings, and him growing to feel sorry.
I'm sorry, Lisa.
Beyond that, we have the episodes Bart the Mother, Marge Be Not Proud, Bart the Lover, Miracle on Evergreen Terrace, Bart Gets a Z, and even as late as season 29 with the episode Left Behind.
Bart Simpson, I know you, and if you can fire that spitwad after our long relationship, I don't deserve to be a teacher.
Throughout at least the classic era, this is pretty much Bart's main character, though when we look deeper into him, we can see much more than a simple troublemaker. And for my first pick, let's take a look at 3 Men in a Comic Book. In this episode, while at a comic convention, Bart stumbles across the first issue of Radioactive Man, his favorite book. Unable to afford the comic as it costs $100, and his family won't give him the money for it, Bart starts taking odd jobs for extra cash. This is one of the earliest examples of Bart's determination. He goes through quite a bit as he works for a crazy old woman that has him do hard labor and endure the torments of iodine, all for the price of 50 cents. In the end, Bart only managed to earn $5, adding to his starting 30, but he does buy the comic book, splitting the price between Milhouse and Martin, before going comically crazy due to the paranoia of the others possibly stealing the book, and it ends up being destroyed. This isn't the first time we see Bart's determination. We also see it in Bart Gets an F, though he does come up short there too, barely failing the test but getting a lucky break as Krabappel rewards him with an extra point when she realizes he actually learned something. That episode is one of the first times we see Bart confess that he's dumb. Not the first, that would be Bart the Genius, but this is the first time the show really dives deep into how Bart has a hard time focusing. And while it's easy to say Bart has a hard time focusing and he's dumb, that's selling him short in the worst way you could.
We're proud of you, boy.
Thanks, Dad. But part of this D- belongs to God.
Jumping to season 4's Whacking Day, Bart steals Willie's tractor and goes on a joyride where he runs over the superintendent. This results in his expulsion. Now, it is important to say Bart didn't plan on stealing the tractor. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Because of Skinner, mind you. I bring this up because while Bart does play in many of his pranks, he is also an opportunist that just can't help himself most times.
Come on, Bart. Ride me.
Let's go.
Now that Bart's out of school, he starts getting homeschooled by Marge, and immediately starts pulling the same troublemaking stunts he did at his old class. Though after a few days, Marge does give Bart a book and manages to get him to read by playing to his interests.
It's about a boy who goes to war. His hand is deformed in an accident.
Deformed?
In a night, Bart manages to finish the book, and he actually goes on to learn quite a bit. Being homeschooled, Bart starts excelling. He manages to save many snakes during Whacking Day by luring them into his house. He even uncovers the truth about this holiday being a holiday about being the Irish.
It's true. I took many a lump, but 'twas all in good fun.
In doing so, he gets the holiday essentially abolished, and this isn't even the first time we see Bart be rather smart. When Krusty was framed by Sideshow Bob, Bart was the only one to put together all the clues and realize that Bob was the perpetrator that framed Krusty. In the following Sideshow Bob episode, when released from jail, Bob marries Selma and plans to kill her for her money. After seeing their tape, Bart puts together how and manages to save her.
Sideshow Bob, I'm afraid the only victims here are the good people at Best Western Hotels.
Even in season 29's Ha Ha Land, Bart has an entire subplot of him getting into chemistry, which he has an act for. Yes, it's in service to a prank, but he has come a long way from not knowing why he shouldn't mix acids and bases all the way back in season 1. Bart can also be quite competitive with things he enjoys, like we see in Lisa on Ice. When it comes down to girls, he just tends to turn his brain off if he's interested. He also ends up trying to impress them in a number of ways, never really knowing when someone isn't interested or how to handle it when they are, oftentimes messing up his relationships. The last thing I want to bring up is how vindictive Bart is, or rather isn't. In Homer Defined, when Bart isn't invited to Milhouse's birthday party, Bart feels pretty bad at first, though he pulls a prank on loosening a salt shaker, causing Milhouse to oversalt his chicken leg, and Bart calls it even. Just like that, he feels like they're back to normal, not holding on to what made him angry in the first place. This is the kid that Bart is, and while he has fluctuated over the years being rougher or softer depending on what the showrunners want at the time, Bart has always been the rebel with a heart of gold type, and he does what feels most natural to him at any given time.
I do what I feel like.
Now that we've established who Bart is, let's talk about why he's important to the Simpsons. When it comes down to his sisters, they both do look up to Bart. Lisa, more so despite how often they fight. Bart was her first word after all.
Bart! Bart, 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 Bart.
I'm her first word.
When Lisa is in trouble, she will confide in him, ask him for help, and even on the rare occasion go to bat for him.
You can make it, Lisa. I know you can. Come on, I know you can do it.
When she loses all confidence in herself during separate vocations, Bart sacrifices himself for her without a second thought.
Why'd you take the blame? 'Cause I didn't want you to wreck your life.
When it comes down to his parents, Bart is willing to do just about anything for his mom, whether it be break the law and free her from prison, or do the right thing. She's one of the few that can really bring out the best in Bart, unlike Homer, who often brings out the worst. Though Bart does cause quite a bit of chaos, as he's the one causing most of the destruction between the kids, and Homer being the most of the rest. Honestly, Bart being born is likely the root of most of their money issues, that or Homer's drinking. Either way, Bart does bring a lot of stress to his household. You kind of have to when Marge's reaction to one of her kids screwing up is this.
Bart, no!
What?
Sorry, force of habit.
But what happens when you remove Bart from the equation? Ultimately, that's what Bartless set out to answer. So when we get into the meat of Bartless, it's important to note that the rest of the episode is a dream. So the perspective we get is from his parents, most likely from Marge, and we can still take some liberty with how the family would get along without Bart. So without Bart, we get a glimpse of what Springfield could be like without him. Already, Marge and Homer are better off as they're not quite rich, but have two decent paychecks between them, and are able to afford a better lifestyle. Marge is the head of a veterinarian clinic, and Homer works as a DJ for the town's Isotopes baseball team, a job that he actually likes and is good at. He's also no longer an alcoholic, drinking a single light beer each day instead of several normal ones, and he's still friends with everyone at Moe's.
Just once I'd like to see Homer Simpson get drunk.
We also see Skinner with a girlfriend, confident and happy because, let's be honest, Bart is the most known student at Springfield Elementary for a reason.
Miss Hoover will teach Bart.
No way. I had him 2 years ago. My hair fell out in clumps.
Our first glimpse at Lisa in this story shows that she's much more neurotic than normal. Without Bart, she doesn't have someone pushing her to that more chaotic, carefree side of life, meaning no one to draw out the angry side of Lisa. As Bart enters the story, he immediately starts pulling the angry side out of Homer.
Can we both admit I won this?
We're shown how quickly Bart's rambunctious nature disturbs the home life of the Simpsons. What could be described as a perfect morning for the family is constantly destroyed as Bart quickly gets on everyone's nerves, and even manages to snipe Skinner with one of Maggie's used diapers.
My cool. It's gone.
It's about this point that our family wants Bart gone. Annoyed due to his behavior, however not wanting to leave this destructive child at their home, Homer drags Bart to work where he manages to break Homer's noise record. At work, Marge manages to get her gossipy staff to actually work instead of spreading rumors all day, all thanks to one of Bart's many catchphrases.
Eat my shorts. Still don't know what it means, but it really works.
Bart also drags Lisa to watch Itchy and Scratchy, which this version of Lisa hasn't seen. She quickly falls in love with it, and the next day Lisa has stopped leaving her toys in mint condition. And we see Maggie enjoying a book that she used to hate because Bart drew her into it, circling back around to the beginning of the episode. This being the moment that Homer and Marge see the good in Bart. While he is destructive, his tendencies do have the potential to bring out the best in others. You know, when he's not bringing out the worst.
Boy must die! You did this to me!
I apologize.
I'll teach you to beat up yesterday!
Whether that be the end of week forget work and relax, or knowing how to get people to do what you want, even though the positive side of Bart's nature is unintentional, there is a good side to him. And that's Bart Simpson in a nutshell. A rebel with a heart of gold that can dry out the best and worst in others. And while I could probably go on for hours about his character dissecting every facet of his personality, I think it's best if I leave it there. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me if this is a character you'd like to see me do next. Maybe I'll do a 6-hour video on Lisa and still not say enough. No. But if you want to see more of my content, check out one of my other videos or my second channel, The Shadow Dice Podcast. Until next time, when I'll see you here.